Hey you guys, so welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on here and talk about DEI because I feel like it's very important to understand why it's being dismantled all of a sudden, all right? Because like DEI has been around for a very long time. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. In many of these different institutions, such as Harvard, for example. And we will be talking about this because I really feel like that none of you people out here really realize why it's being dismantled. It's not being dismantled of the reasons why you think it is. I really feel like it's for specific reasons that has happened very, very recently. And it's not because of the, black people are being put in Harvard by way of because of their race, more than other races such as very smart Asians or very smart whites. And it's a very disgusting thing that has been happening. It's so backwards because honestly, you should be put into, jobs, institutions such as colleges, whatever have you, based on your merit, based on your smartness, based on if you can get the test right or do you have the skills. It should be based on that, right? But no, like the leftist woke pieces of shit of the world, the scum of the earth of the world, and many others that we will be talking about today have put this in action because, it is a way to set back, the majority of this country, which are white people. And we will be discussing that. And I have an example that I want to bring out because I think it's very important because I think that this is what has driven the DEI to the ground and is very, very interesting if you really think about it. So let's get started. So if you haven't been living under a rock, you already know that Trump has, I think in the first week of him being in office, he signed an executive order saying, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. And a lot of people on the right was so excited for this, and rightfully so. I think that everyone should be happy that DEI is being dismantled. I think it's a disgusting thing in policy that's in every single thing. Even my job has DEI initiatives, which I found to be very disgusting. And I noticed that a lot of other places, it doesn't matter if it's a restaurant, it could be at an office job, it could be at Harvard, it can be anywhere that have these DEI initiatives and these quotas that these disgusting pieces of shit want to implement in, their places. And this goes on to talk about what it is promising, this executive order. Ending radical and wasteful. This word implies that the administration views DEI programs as extreme or unnecessary and claims they misuse government resources. Government DEI programs, DEI initiatives are designed to promote diversity, fairness, and inclusion in hiring, education, and other areas of government. This order suggests eliminating them. Prefacing likely refers to policies that give certain groups, minorities, women, or underrepresented communities advantages in hiring, contacting, or other government decisions. The order suggests stopping such practices. And rightfully so. This is what needs to be happening within our society. You should only be, put into positions of, jobs or in colleges. It doesn't even matter if it's even in like a school program or something like that, after school program. It should only be based on your merit. Based on how good you are at it, or do you have the skill, do you have the talent? You wouldn't even for example, I've been in choir for most of my school life when I was in school, and I'm a good singer. Like, I like to sing. Was I the best back then? No, but even then it kind of made me laugh how they were so inclusive and they only pick people based on oh, do you have a voice? Can you just like it wasn't based on talent. It's based on like, oh, do you have a voice? Okay, we'll just bring you in anyway because it doesn't matter who you are. Just we'll if you're talentless, come on through. It doesn't matter. They didn't pick people based on talent. They only based on people who just had a fucking speaking voice, which is so stupid and pointless. If you want a good choir, you should have a choir with people who actually want to sing. You know what I mean? But it it's crazy how we've allowed this to happen so much in our society, because of these progressives out here who think that blacks are like underrepresented, or gays are underrepresented, and that they should just be pushed and put in these different positions, or schools, for example, based on their sexuality, or their race, or if they're fat or whatever have you, because that's how they view things. And if you're white, oh, that means you have a advantage because of your white privilege. It's like, but we all live in America. We all have fucking privilege, you stupid piece of shit. We all have privilege. We live in this great country. Everyone has the same opportunities. If you are talented and you have the God-given, will to actually put yourself out there, you will get it. You don't need these DEI quotas to push you through and hold other people back because of their race or how they look. You know what I mean? Like, it is stupid. But this is what has happened. And I want to bring up why now is being dismantled. A lot of you out there will probably disagree with me because you're stupid and you just want to see the truth of things. And this is why race matters. I really do think race does matter, even though I do feel like that everyone should be, accepted into colleges, jobs based on marriage and not how they look. You know what I mean? But to be honest, like, this is why race matters, honestly. And this is why we can't have a colorblind society, because if we do, we won't be able to criticize people and certain people out here who is pushing these certain things. Do you guys remember the woman, Claudine Gay, who was the president of Harvard? She was criticized for her testimony during a congressional hearing on rising anti-Semitism on campus and alleged plagiarism in her academic writings. It's so funny how she was also picked as a DEI hire, obviously. And it's so funny, like, all of a sudden, there's plagiarism in her academic writing. Of course, like, if you only going to pick someone for your for their race, why won't they just like be dumb and less than smart in their academic writing? I can't stand people so much. I really can't. But it's not because of that, right? It's not because of that. It's because, ever since October 7th, you guys, yes, I'm going to get into it today. Ever since October 7th, all of a sudden, DEI wants to be dismantled because, there are students out there and there are minorities out there who are actually ultra progressive, and and someone does care that there are innocent people such as women, men, children being bombed by a country that is way more at an advantage, such as Israel. And our country is helping flatten Gaza, their land, and they have successfully done that because they have our backing. That's just the truth. And Claudine Gay, she was, basically put on the fucking put under fire, basically because she allowed students to go out and protest against Israel. And as you guys already know, even Trump and Biden, they agree on, not allowing these students to do that because it's automatically anti-Semitic to boycott foreign nations such as Israel. Like, these are laws that are put into place. And as you already know, like, Donald Trump wants to send these people away and deport them basically because they are against war and they are against the, Israeli occupation of Gaza and even our government. And they don't like that. And as you can see, Claudine Gay, like, she was fired. Another person was put in her place. Alan Garber, that's his name. He is Jewish, obviously, and he is now taken over because she was forced to resign because she was basically put on fire for her, disobedience to the donors of, Harvard, such as Bill Eichmann, who pulled a lot of funds away from Harvard because, they wasn't stopping anti-Semitism on the campus, and Jewish students were, like, basically scared for their life. And, a lot of funding from a lot of these Jewish donors were being pulled from Harvard. And I found it to be very interesting, because, Harvard has pushed a lot of different progressive ideals, such as, like, saying that, babies can be, gay and trans, whatever like that. Like, Harvard Medical School offers course in OBGYN pediatrics to identify LGBTQIA plus newborns and infants. Since when does a newborn that they are gay? Like, how does a newborn know that they are gay or trans or straight? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And knowing that more than 80% of surveyed Harvard faculty identify as liberal, I mean, I kind of get it. I kind of get it, and seeing that, Harvard professors were arguing that, we should abolish the white race. I think I get why they were teetering on those crazy illogical lines. But it's so funny how these Jewish donors, they didn't have no issues with that, right? They had no issues with that. As it says right here, a leading Black Studies department argues in the current issue of Harvard Magazine that abolishing the white race is so desirable that some may find it hard to believe that anyone other than committed white supremacists would oppose it. Isn't it crazy how those Jewish donors, such as Bill Eichmann, had no issues with these type of studies, these type of people pushing this insane agenda to say that, babies can be trans and LGBT, whatever have you, and that, white should be abolished. But once it comes to Jewish people and they see students on campus, protesting against, basically murdering innocent women, children, and men in Gaza by way of our country supporting Israel and flattening where they live at in Gaza, it was, it's an issue. It's an issue now, right? See, you guys, you have been duped. It's not because of, these people are ending DEI. Trump isn't ending DEI because of this issue of based on merit, you getting into college based on merit, or getting this job based on merit, your talent, your skills. It's because the donors, the Jewish people. It's because, we are an occupied nation. Our country is occupied. Wake the fuck up. Did you not see what was happening? Did you not see Trump pushing Bibi Netanyahu's chair when he arrived here? Did you not see that he's willing going along with this ethnic cleansing of these poor people in Palestine? They have nowhere to go. But all of a sudden, they want to rebuild, put them somewhere else. Oh, they want to put them in Egypt. Egypt doesn't want to take them. Israel doesn't want to take them, God forbid, because they believe they're all terrorists anyway. But it's so funny how they want to send these so-called terrorists to Norway, Spain, European countries. Because Israel, they need to protect their Iron Dome. They need to protect their borders, preserve their society, because only the Jewish people and only people that support the Jews and the chosen people should be there, right? Right. So everything that's being overturned is not due to what we believe it is. It's due to just his specific group of people. And we see this pattern happening all throughout our society. They support these disgusting policies such as abortion, the very disgusting progressive LGBT ideals, the DEI, the critical race theory, all these things that is destroying our society, and it directly affects whites the most because it's no secret that most, and if you go in the past, your history about them being pushed out of 109 countries um, that were Christian, mostly white countries. They have an agenda against the white race. It's just the truth. And this is why DEI was pushed. You guys don't see the writing on the wall. It's very sad. Why you think, they have a Hebrew Aid Immigration Society that was telling a lot of these Hispanics and many people across the world that shouldn't be here in this country, that are illegal immigrants, literally putting boards up to tell them where to go and how to safely get to the U.S. to immigrate into this country. This is some serious things, and you guys think that it's a conspiracy theory. It's not. It's the truth. They hate you. They do. They hate you. They hate your guts. And once you go against them, everything turns over because our politicians are corrupt and bribed, even Donald Trump. And the only people that isn't for these hate speech laws that are put in our institutions and stuff like that to prevent you from criticizing Israel, criticizing Jewish people, criticizing even oligarchs like George Soros, or even them are being protected under this new law of hate speech laws for Jewish people in Israel. It's insane. And it's it's sad. We have APAC. They overturn our politicians, and when they're gonna win and when they're not gonna win, based on the donor money, how they lift them up with their donor money, if they are pro-Israel and have nothing to do with being pro-America. It's really sad that we are at a time where free speech is so under attack, and so many people out there that are normies, they don't know this. They don't know this. They sit there. They think that Donald Trump is on their side. It's like, why we are responsible to rebuild Gaza? You are the people who want to, flatten their land, even though Hamas wanted to have a ceasefire like way before today. But Bibi Netanyahu said no. Remember, he came out and said there's no for answer. He will not do a ceasefire.
I want to make clear Israel's position regarding a ceasefire. Just as the United States would not agree to a ceasefire after the bombing of Pearl Harbor or after the terrorist attack of 9/11, Israel will not agree to a cessation of hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October 7th. Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. That will not happen.
But he had weak Joe Biden in the office. He can take advantage of him. I mean, Joe Biden has always said that he was a Zionist, and he is what he is, And Donald Trump has been at that wall in Israel many times. His daughter is a Jewish woman as well, because she converted to Judaism with her husband, Jared Kushner, who is also behind all of that. You know,
Gaza's waterfront property. It could be very valuable to if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. It's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there, but I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. I think proactively recognizing a Palestinian state would essentially be rewarding an act of terror. That was
because they know that there's $500 billion that Gaza's sitting on worth of oil and, different things that they can use. But, in the process of all of that, they want to put the so-called terrorists where we are, It's crazy shit, It's crazy shit. And that's why DEI is not being taken down because, the white people, because the white people aren't being put in there because of their merit. That's why. It's not because of that. It's because people are protesting against murdering children. That's why. So all this bullshit, it just didn't work in their favor. It didn't work in their favor to put in minorities to do their bidding, Even though they've supported these progressive ideals, supported these black people to hate the white race even more, and it just didn't work in their favor, and it backfired on them. That's really it. That's really the whole entire case of this. It really is. As you see, the funding of these Jewish donors pulling out, it also says this, more than 1,600 Jewish Harvard alumni threatened to stop donations as campus anti-Semitism worries grow. You know how crippling that is? Funding is very important for a lot of these institutions. And when it's not going in their way, they're going to pull out. But it's so funny how it happens. They happen to pull out when it's not affecting them. They seem like the destruction of all these different things happening to other races, They like to see us all infight, but we can't say anything about them over here, right? But we can blame the white people. We can blame the blacks. We can blame the Hispanics. We can blame the trans, the gays, and stuff like that. That they're basically pushing and supporting in these institutions. But when it comes to them, we look at them, it's a whole issue, right? Yeah. DEI, the dismantle of DEI is not for you. It's not. It's for them. Simple as that. Simple as that. And it's a shame. It's a shame what has happened to this country. It's a shame that we continue to allow this to happen. And it's a shame that no one is really speaking out against this, because you know why? A lot of these independent people that you see, like TPUSA, Tim Pool, many people out there. I can't say on the top of my head, but you see them. They don't talk about it. It's because they're paid and bought. That's why. And it's sickening. It truly is, you guys. We live in a very immoral society. And I really wish that you guys would wake up, and you don't even have to be a Christian to understand how wrong this all is. But that's all I want to say to you guys today. Hopefully you guys get what I'm saying, and I love you guys so much. Bye.